With Part B, SNB, the balance of Samuel's loan after n months, and they want you to write a recurrence relation in terms of these alphabets. Now, a recurrence rule consists of a starting value and a rule. And the rule consists of R times Sn minus the repayment. So this is the repayment. That is your growth factor, which is R is given by 1 plus R divided by P times 100. Okay? So I have shown that in this step, but that is not the answer. So we know the initial balance was 320,000, which is that. And 1 plus R is 3.6% per annum. It is a monthly repayment, so that P is 12 here. So 1 plus 3.6 over 1200 gives you 1.003, which should be how you write your answer. This is accepted, that's not accepted. Sn, current value, minus the repayments, 1600. So this is what is considered an answer which gets the mark. Let's move on to the next question. Question 9. He opens a savings account, and the month-to-month balance, Bn, can be determined by the relation given here, recurrence rule. Now, B0 is the initial value that he deposited. Bn plus 1 is equal to 1.003 Bn. Write down the value of B4, the balance of the savings account after 4 months. So this is a compound interest question, one that increases month to month. And so B4 the balance at the end of the 4th month is the initial B0 R to the power 4. We are aware of the formula Vn is equal to R power n V0. Now all that they have done is Bn is equal to R power n V0. Okay, and that gives you this answer. Calculate the monthly rate percentage of Samuel's savings account, monthly interest rate percent. So we know that this R value is associated with the interest rate, and 1.003 can be calculated by adding 1 plus R over 1200, because R is equal to 1 plus R over P times 100, which is equal to 1.003. And when you calculate R, 1.003 minus 1 times 1200. That gives you 3.6% per annum. Divided by 12 is, because they've asked you the monthly interest rate, is 0.3%. There are many ways of going about this, but some amount of working is definitely required. After 1 year, the balance of Samuel's savings account to the nearest dollar is 5,183. If Samuel had deposited an additional 50 at the end of each month immediately after the interest was added, how much extra money? So extra money implies a difference between two amounts, okay, would be in the saving after 1 year. So there are two scenarios here. One where he deposits 5,000 at a normal interest, okay, 5,000, and he gains interest, which I have calculated in the sequence tab by using the sequence tab, and putting in the following values. You have to be careful that start and should be 0 and end is 12. End can be anything as long as you're looking at the 12th value on the table. And you get NAN and 0. The first thing you should check is your first value is always 0. Okay, that's the money you deposited. And the 12th value is 5,793. Now be careful, especially if you're using your cash calculators. Tap on the value and you can actually read the value at the bottom of the screen. If there is like a few decimal places, please round off to the nearest cent and write it here. Okay, don't just copy it off the main screen. You have to tap it, read it off, and then round off this answer to do decimal places to the nearest cent and then write it in the space to show any kind of calculation. On the other hand, if at the end of every month he deposited $50, so this is the second scenario, then the situation would have looked like this particular recurrence rule, where he's definitely deposited money, and the next month's, the balance at the end of the next month in his account will gain interest at 1.003 times the current balance plus additional 50 every month. Now, if you put that into your calculator, whichever calculator you use, you can put this as B naught is equal to that, and Bn plus 1 is equal to R times Bn, where R is 1.03. And if you do the same thing and find the NAN value on the sequence tab, you will get the 12th value to be 5,183. And so when you subtract these two values, okay, you get $610 as the extra money you would have gained if you had put in $50 at the end of each month. Thank you.